a mind that can already concentrate. People who are a more mystical nature sometimes have to spend years and years developing a mind that can concentrate. We already have a mind that can concentrate. It may not have the best concentration, and you can train that. But do you know what I mean? You know what I mean when you know how to concentrate. You know how to develop your concentration if you need to. And this is where we unite our head with our heart. The Western occultist unites with the Eastern mystic, and the two together are incredibly powerful. Meditation is the way to unite these paths. It gives a spiritual awareness of the indwelling divinity of the soul, combined with a mind trained by the will. And we have minds trained by the will. In Western society, you have to exert will. You've got to get up and go to work and do that. You know, we're developing our will all the time. Even if it's just giving up for Lent or it's the New Year's resolution. You know, we have a culture that works on setting goals and training the will. What direction we train it, that's another matter. But do you know what I mean? We know what willpower is. And this leads to intuition, which opens you up to illumination. And this, when it happens, can be applied in everyday life of service. And this is where meditation is the key. And it's also where yoga, this idea of renunciation and yoga comes in. And yoga, the physical yoga, is a discipline where you come to discipline your body and you start to learn the connection between your breath and your mind. Because what happens, just do it now, what happens when you slow down your breathing? What happens in your mind? What happens in, I can feel it in the room, everyone's gone, yeah. And if, I've got a woman who comes to my yoga class who has had ME for 20 years and gets anxiety attacks when she goes into supermarkets. She finds that energy environment with all the fluorescent lights and everything really quite scary. And I was teaching her in yoga, just go inward and slow your breathing down. And then once it's nice and slow, think of the breath being of the most supreme quality air. So around here you already breathe supreme quality air, but for us in Chester we have to think about it. Okay, so you're on top of Snowdon, you're at the sea, you're in the beach, and you're breathing this finest divine quality air. And what will happen in your mind, without you even having to do anything, is your thoughts will become more positive. They'll become more self-affirming, they'll come up into the Buddhic nature, and your forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, unconditional love will flow in more easily. And the anxiety is breathing up here, when everything down here is so locked up, because this is where all the lower emotions are, in the Manipura chakra, in the solar plexus. And so you bring it down, you bring it right down. And she said, I stood in the middle of Morrison's, Teresa, she said, and I thought everyone would think that I was an idiot. She said, and I just breathed. And I taught her a way to ground. When you ground, you connect with the earth. You connect with, I talked before about the divine feminine. You connect with energy coming up through the earth. And yoga, disciplines like yoga, tai chi, qigong, these sort of things connect you back with nature, with the earth, with source, with who you are. You become, she said, I just stood there and I slowed down my breathing and I just imagined I was on Snowdon breathing this air. She said, and I just went out and calmly did my shopping and it wasn't a problem. And she said, you know what, no one even noticed. She was standing in the middle of Morrison's on the verge of a panic attack, but she used her mind, she used her heart to heal her mind and brought herself into a place where she could act and give service. She was there shopping for her family, which is an act of love, of service. And so that was a very good example of how yoga in action. Yoga teaches you, it helps to, this negative energy that we can hold on to, the energy of different traumas in our life, in our body for years. It can manifest as dis-ease. And a lot of people don't like this idea and question this, but science is coming more and more around to understanding the body. And that, Chinese medicine, when they put needles in different meridians, all they're doing is they're sending a message Say I'm working on my my lung meridian, and I'm putting a needle on the lung meridian. I'm sending a message all the way up that energy line that runs all through my body and through the different organs, saying, clear any blockages. And that's what the needle does. That's what acupressure does. That's what Reiki does. And it's an understanding of healing that's taking us to another. That's what herbs do. They have a vibration that vibrates with your nadis, with your meridians, with your energy fields. Yoga, especially yoga where you work, you teach Drew? No. Or any yoga where you open the heart chakra, where you work with energy, you can actively get rid of past hurts, past traumas, past life things. It's, sometimes, have you ever had a massage and you think you're there just to get some knots out of your back, and before you know it, you're in floods of tears? Where did that come from? And you remember, often have a memory associated with it, and you'll be sobbing about something, and you're like, well, where did that come from? That trauma, because it wasn't processed at the time, was stuck in your body, and the massage just happened on that day to release it. And you let it go on a physical level, and you let it go on an emotional and an etheric and energy level. And what happens, you open up the Antakarana, the rainbow bridge, whenever you let those go. So a regular practice of yoga detoxes your body, your physical body. It detoxes your etheric body. It also makes your energy body stronger, so that as you start to move on your spiritual path and become open to higher energies, and especially if you've had talks on initiation, which are huge leaps in your spiritual path, where energy comes to you from higher planes, higher sources, it builds that energy body so it's strong enough to contain those energies. But it also grounds you. It connects you with not only the Heavenly Father energy coming through, but the Mother Earth energy coming up. And we become what we're supposed to be, which is a channel between the two, between love and light. And that is what our heart is. The heart is, they've found in science now that we actually get messages from our environment into our heart first. We think it's the brain and the senses that take in information, but they're now doing studies where they've found the heart actually registers things and sends the information to the brain.
It's the mediator between heaven and earth.
It is the mediator, that's right. And what they've found neural tissue in the heart. They've found neural tissue in the stomach. Your immune system is actively intelligent, and 80% of your immune system is in your stomach. So if you're having stomach problems, listen to the language of your body. If you can't stomach something, if you can't swallow, if you can't, listen to your own body. It is telling you. And I've said to people, it can be literal. Who's being a pain in your neck? Who's being a pain in the bum? What is not supporting you when your back is giving you problems? Your base chakra way down here is about your needs. What needs are not being met? Your knees and hips take you forward in life. Why are you resisting going forward? Do you know, there's lots of, you can get into this, there's lots of intuitive messages in your body, and when you do yoga, you become more attuned to that. You come into your body and you start to be more aware of your energy body, and therefore aware of other people's energy bodies, and you start to choose to be in positive energy environments. You'll find that some people in your life, you just don't want to be in their company anymore because they deflate, they don't make you feel good when you're around them. And other people, you want to be in their company. When you go and do certain things, it energizes you. You feel good when you, I stopped listening to the news or reading newspapers a long time ago, and it's so freeing.
I think I'll have to do that.
The information you need to know comes to you if you need to know it. But it's such a freeing thing to give up that fear-based negative energy coming at you. You know, some people want it so many hours, every hour on the hour they want an infusion. Soap operas are the same. You start to want to watch, this is a judgment, but better quality TV, or you get discerning. You may decide not to watch any at all, or you may decide to only watch that which really resonates with the higher place in you. You start, do you know what I mean? Your life, you will find your diet starts to change. You're drawn to foods of a higher vibration. Your way of operating in the world, what you do with your vibration of your money starts to change. The decisions you make start to change. And this is what yoga and meditation, you start to live a spiritual life. So not just coming to a talk and me talking all this and you go, well, that's all very well, I'm glad I understand all that. Take it out. How do you take it out? And to me, meditation and yoga are like the bridge between the knowing and the doing, the taking it out there, the living it. And it makes you congruent. It gives you an incredible amount of energy. What I want to do, just with time, I've got a handout on different stages of meditation. I've got a piece that I wrote about meditation and intuition, so that's going to be plenty for you to take home and read. I'll give you those in a minute. I just want to show you a couple of little yoga things, just to give you some tools to take away. So if you don't mind standing up, we're not going to do any yoga, don't worry, we're just going to stand on our feet and breathe and a few things like that, but nothing that is... Whenever you need grounding, if you're all up in your head, you've been at work and your mind's going ooh, and you're exhausted, but it's not physical exhaustion, you've not been digging roads all day, do you know what I mean? It's emotional, mental exhaustion. If you ground yourself, you will revitalise, and little kids do this all the time. I mean, there are postures in yoga. If you stick your bum in the air and your legs down and your head down, you will energise yourself. And little kids, if they're tired, do you notice what they do? They, you know, the dog posture. They always stick their, what mine do, they'll be watching telly with their bum in the air, upside down, and they just intuitively know that that will energise them whenever you go upside down. But if you're all up in your head, you need to ground yourself. You need to connect back to source. Now, you've got the beach here. Going into nature will ground you. Bare feet grounds you if you're on the earth. I mean, not so good in the middle of winter. But, you know, if your head is real buzzing, just bare feet out on the grass, especially first thing in the morning, or, you know, that sort of thing. But there's other things you can do if you don't have the privilege of running around bare feet on the grass. First of all, just sink. Just feel through your feet and through your shoes. Feel a connection. And it doesn't matter how many floors you are up. Feel a connection down through this building, right down into the earth, through the soles of your feet. Just become aware that you are connected. You stand between heaven and earth. And then what I want you to do is I want you to imagine, we'll do two different things because we've got 10 minutes. Just close your eyes. I want you to imagine breathing in, up through your feet, up through your legs, and all the way into your heart. Breathe out from your heart, out through the crown of your head. Breathe in through the crown of your head, down to your heart. And then breathe out from your heart, down through your feet, back into the earth. And then just do that again in your own timing. So it's in through your feet, up to your heart. Out from your heart, out through the crown of your head. In through the crown of your head, back down to your heart. And down from your heart, down through the soles of your feet. And just with 2 breaths, just open your eyes and let me see your eyes, because I can see the effect in your eyes when it's, yeah. What's it done for you? You just come back to being more who you really are. That's all it does. Another one that I taught them in Colwyn Bay. See, we've got to keep you up to date with Colwyn Bay. This one's Qigong exercise. Imagine there's little gaps under your toes, and there's another one in your heel. You're going to breathe in under your toes, breathe along the sole of your foot, and breathe out through your heel. And you do it 9 times, just in your own timing. eyes, so I know you're about there. How do your feet feel?
Heavy.
Heavy. Do you feel it? Do you think you can actually pick them up?
Yeah.
You've got lead boots on. Do you feel connected?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you another secret. I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I will. When you're grounded, people find you more attractive.
Oh, I do it every day.
I was wondering.
Apparently, we are attracted to people who are grounded. And we use it in our language. Oh, you know, they're real down to earth, salt of the earth, you know. Because we feel easy with them, because we feel like we can be ourselves. And we feel like they're connected to what's real. So we want some of that. And so we're attracted to them. The other thing that being grounded does, it's like connecting to abundance. So if you're having problems with abundance in your life, or an energetic, monetary type of way, grounding can help, because it
That's
can help
funny.
change.
Sorry to I didn't want to, didn't want to upset you or anything, but in Mother Teresa, she's known to float, yes? And but she was, everybody got attracted to her. That's
Different.
It's balance, isn't it?
It is. That's a bit different. As you start working more with your soul, your energy naturally, the vibration lifts. I mean, this is how yogis levitate. They actually, all of their cells in their body, because our cells are photoelectric. Our cells eventually could exist on light alone.
But they are light.
It's to do with the consciousness.
To do with the consciousness. So as there's a raising of consciousness, we feel lighter, we become lighter, we're less down in the dense matter, and we do lift up more into a higher realm. But what we do, because we are here to bring consciousness down into physical matter, if we float around up there too much, we can lose touch with the real.
Yeah.
Everybody else who's down
trying
here.
to keep myself on the ground.
Yeah, who we want, if you like, service. We want to help people. We've got to stay grounded as well.
That's right.
And so that's where we're between heaven and earth. We're stretched, aren't we? So that's why I find meditation, which lifts your vibration, and then yoga helps to ground you, so that you stay with your feet on the ground.
Yeah, I found Tai Chi helps to ground you better.
That's
Because
interesting.
it's all,
Because you sink
yeah,
down.
it's all sinking.
Sinking down.
Yoga does the opposite.
Yoga can, but there are
Well, for me
ways.
personally.
Yes, no, there are ways in yoga to ground people. The particular yoga I teach, at the end, when we've done things, especially I'll be noticing the energy of people in the room, I'll bring them back down, and there's earth sequences and things like the tree will ground you. And usually you can do the relaxation, you can ground them. Yeah, get them down on the ground so that more of the earth energy is absorbed. I just, to finish, want to do a little sequence with some mudras. In yoga, mudras are just hand movements, but they're more than just hand movements. They're the conscious mind speaking to the unconscious mind. They unite all levels of your being. They are profound in their meaning. For example, the Brahma mudra here, I'll just show you as an example. This is the three aspects of the personality, bowing down to the soul and pointing the direction with will. So if I were to do, say, like there's a yoga move, this one opens your heart. So if I just open my heart like this. This is Dhru Yoga. Yeah, it is like, Dhru Yoga is very like a combination of Tai Chi and yoga. So that opens my heart. If I then open my heart with this, it has a whole different energy. Because I'm using the mudra and the intention changes. So this is just giving you a little bit of a glimpse into some of the science of yoga, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a little sequence of mudras that are wonderful. So this is Namaste, where I bring the yang male, the doer in the world, together with